the place of isolation can become the place of revelation. And so what I was saying about that is that we are on such a universal isolated mode. And you know, you have heard everything from like, oh, this is a good time to, you know, relax and, you know, become one with the self, or to the other spectrum of like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. Some way or form, we are all experiencing this isolation. And I think what was really profound about it's just a one-liner, like one-line quote, like the place of revelation, and the fact that this is also a time that so many things are being revealed if you're open to it. You know, because the signs are there, like things are being revealed to you on a case by case, like daily basis. And this is such an interesting time, as it's still also like, you know, the beginning of a decade. And we came into 2020 with the excitement of what vision and like, all this stuff was going to bring. And God said, sit down. Sit your ass down. Absolutely. Like, can I say God and sit your ass down? I think somewhere in the Bible he says ass. Like, ass is a donkey, ass. Right? But no, it definitely feels like there's a lot being revealed on all levels. From government. From education. Everything. From just how people do business, period. Business, how people do people. Yeah, absolutely. Like, how people communicate with people. I mean, you didn't like my play on words. People, I don't know. I just thought of Pornhub for some reason. I don't know. I'm sorry for all the Christian listeners. I'm sorry. My bad. All the Christian listeners. You're also. I am. Okay, but you know, you got something to, you know, people. You still got work. You said porn. But I mean, it's the reveal is real. And you know, this is a relationship podcast, so even in our relationship, being locked with you for 20 days, locked? Why you gotta say it like that? Hysteria, like you got on a ball and chain or something. Yeah, the ball and chain. No, I'm just joking. Just a second ago, you said I was looking good. And you're right. Well, you know, I'm a Gemini, so I got the duality. Like it's crazy. But I just want to say, like, even in our reveal together, you know, you think that you know a person until you don't. You think Sherry at the time. I was like, what you really? You think you know a person? You think you know a person, but you have no idea. No, you think you know a person, but there's always something new that comes up. And yes, there's new revelations that you can learn about the people that you are around. There's things that you are going to learn every single day that we are together. That's the nice way to say it. That motherfucker crazy over there. And you just kind of have to be willing to understand that. And when it's revealed to you, like, how are you going to handle that? How are you going to deal with that? And I think even in other relationships, like, I haven't, me personally, I'm pretty sure I can speak for a lot of people. No, just speak for yourself. I didn't really realize how much we are not in relations with one another on a consistent basis. How we have the privilege of kind of like getting away and going to work, getting away and hanging out with other people, getting away, and your children, if you have children, they going off to school, and like, you got 8 hours every single day, but you're not in the space with these particular people you call family. Right. And now that has been taken away, how we haven't been connected in the way we thought we were, or you know, how you haven't been connected with your children in a way that you thought you were. Or how much connection is too connection? Too much connection. Like, you're like, you again. There you go again. Absolutely. Oh, one more again. That's you too. Oh, okay. Absolutely. Yeah. And so one of the things I like to think about this time that we're all in. So whether you are living with someone, whether you're by yourself, whether you are, you know, you have roommates, whatever the case is, your relationships are affected. You know, the relationship with yourself is affected. Like we are all like really feeling some form of isolation from everything, and particularly like our normal way of being and our normal way of doing life. And our escape. Yeah. And to your point of like, wait, I'm not used to any of it. Yeah. Right? There's some coming and going. There's some movements that we're used to making that absolutely is not
that's just not where we're at right now. And so it ends up revealing a lot.
Hell yeah.
Good, bad, indifferent, and you're like, okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Hey.
And I can imagine that it probably is making it break it for other people, right? Like, people who've been able to mask, I guess, how they truly feel about one another, and now when they're forced to kind of like be in the space together, and they got nowhere to go. It's either in here with you or outside with Rona. What we doing? It's telling, man.
It's something, and I just feel like it's a universal pull to like be still and to really face those things. So whether it is something that you have been putting off to the side, hiding, not really being intentional or one with and connecting, this is like a forceful face it.
Yeah, and I think that's what I love about the quote, is because it took the positive spin and create like this connotative like phrase for what isolation is. When you hear isolation, you hear loneliness, you hear disconnection. But in this phrase, what I liked about what the pastor did was he used it in connection with like you being with yourself, you isolating from the world in a way where those signals that the world gives you, it's not breaking up the signals that you need to hear for yourself. And like, what is that revealing for you? Like, what new channels are you opening up personally that is going to help you like make informed decisions going forward?
And I think it really just speaks to the word revelation. Like that in itself is just such a power, because it's a level of connection that can be spiritual. It's divine. It has in its own self. It's a surprise.
It's also if you talk biblically in the Bible, it's a form of like a coming, a second coming,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. It's an upheaval.
Yeah, like
and
shit about to get real. And like how connected are you to your purpose?
To your source, to you, right? Absolutely. Like, how connected are you to you?
So what did it reveal for you? So I want to say, what did it reveal for you on a personal level? Like, I know we're going to get into the banter of like getting at each other.
I'm not going to get at you. Clearly, you clearly got some stuff. But
what did it reveal about?
On a personal level, I think personally, I don't mind. I really like isolation. It's something that I crave and yearn. And so for me, what it has revealed is that I'm not new to this, you know, and it makes me feel okay, right? For like having those moments where I need to kind of pull away and retrieve. I'm a bit of an ambivert. And so, you know, I
what type of fish is that?
Stupid. I'm an ambivert, you know, I'm a kind of like in the cusp of personalities and energies. And so it's like, I love people, I'm engaged with people, but like my refuel is sort of more of an introvert style. And so I always kind of claim that level of isolation to kind of help refuel. And so this is almost like affirming in a sense that although we don't usually live a life that affords it all the time, it's needed, you know? And I kind of feel like, oh, like, girl, you've been doing that. You good, you know?
Yeah.
So
it was easy for you to settle in.
It definitely felt like a space where it was familiar, you know? And I think in the, I guess, revelation of like who I am was just like, you're solid. I felt solid, you know, to my core. And like, hey, girl, you good? You know? It didn't, I'm not going to say it surprised me to be okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't necessarily surprise me. But it was a moment of what it revealed was a level of consistency and like solidness. Like gotcha. This is, or ground. I'm going to use the word. I like the word grounding. Like I feel like, oh, I'm grounded. So
did you think that your isolation or your ability to be comfortable with being alone or being in a space of like, I guess, like sitting or being grounded, stillness. Did you think before when the world was like?
Yeah, I felt like I would have to be like if there was something not necessarily wrong, but there was this pulse of being like on pace, on par, and like kind of going. You know, the early bird gets the worm kind of thing.
Got you.
And so knowing that naturally that refuel or that moment of like sit back, pause, be still was something that I just needed in general. This is just kind of like, yeah, y'all need it too.
So I think I'm opposite.
Yeah.
So I thought that I was gonna freak out. So in that sense, because I'm such an extrovert, like I need people, I fuel off of people. Like my interactions with other people is something that I need for the rest of my life. But something that I battle with is being still and grounding myself in a space for more than 4 hours. So
20, I don't know.
Yeah. So ironically enough, though, and I don't know how this is going to sound, but once it became like a possibility for us to have to be in one space, a voice came to me and was just like, vacation. And I not to make light of the pandemic and epidemic, because it definitely has affected me emotionally for all the people who passed away, but I knew going into 2020 that I needed to exercise patience, and I talked about that on our last episode, on our last show. But you know how they always say, Teeny, like, it takes like 30 days for you to develop a habit? That's what came to me. It was just like, okay, now you're able to ground yourself for 30 days so that you can learn this habit that you have never learned to do. And what are you going to get out of this? Like, what are you going to learn of appreciating the fact that you can't move? And can you think positively about it, Barry, and make it something that will be a practice in your life going forward? Because the shit that's happening in the world, once a pandemic hit, it ain't as serious as you make it. So is it really something that you need to do, or are you just creating these false ideas? So like that's what's been coming up, and I, other than again, all the stuff that's been happening outside of the doors, I've been really appreciating being grounded.
Well, see, yeah, and that's why I feel like you